Greetings everyone, Tech here. Welcome back to Tech's Tavern. Grab a brew, pull up a chair, and let's continue our Let's Play on Crusader Kings 2, Croatia. And we've been doing pretty well as of late overall. In our last couple of episodes, you'll recall, we finally took Venice after the vassals took to the streets with signs of protest demanding that we go take this little country, which seems strange. But anyway, we went ahead and we let the mob direct our actions. So we did take it on the last episode, and yeah, there was some goofy shenanigans. I didn't need to mess with boats. I sent too many troops. I know all that stuff. I think there was somebody, just to address a couple of questions and comments and whatnot from the last episode. We had, there was at least one person who said, hey, why did you raise all your troops? Yeah, I mean, probably the smarter way to have done like that particular situation would have probably been not to even bother raising my levies and just raise the vassal levies would have been the smarter way. And then I could have just left my personal levy because I wasn't going to need it for that. And then maybe when that revolt popped up, I could have raised my personal levy and went and dealt with that way. And yeah, I know you take attrition when the country can't hold how many troops you send in there and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, in the greater scheme of things, yeah, maybe it cost me a few extra coins, but it really didn't affect much of anything else in any other way. And it wasn't like we had impending wars or other secondary battles or any of that kind of stuff. So it really, I mean, I know one person acted like they were almost kind of frustrated. Why do you always raise all your... Okay, because I can. I'm the king. That's why. I mean, it's not... I'm not trying to be... if you've watched this entire series, I think there was... And actually, I guess it was kind of a learn through, fire type thing, where I think there was one time where I had a revolt and I did try to be selective and I only raised like my levies or whatever because I thought I could deal with the revolt. Well, then the revolt spiraled out of control and I didn't have enough troops, so then I ended up having to raise all my own armies, and I would have saved myself 15 minutes of agony if I had just raised them all in the first place. And so that's kind of why I have that attitude sometimes, where when there's a conflict, I just raise everybody and send them over there just to get it done with, whatever, and we're done and we're moving on to the next part. So that's part of that. But we have a couple issues, and I was kind of looking around here at some of the things we could do, and I looked at some of your guys' suggestions on the various ways to handle this situation. And for me looking at it and deciding on some of this stuff, there's really no easy way out of this, because not only like two things happen here that have kind of spiraled an issue. The one thing that happened is by taking Venice, it put me over my demesne/domain limit. Also, we're holding the wrong type of domain because it's a barony, and so that's causing some issues as well. The other thing that happened, though, is we were only like 1 over the size. It was like 8 of 7. And then we had a bad event that happened, I believe, last episode. I think it happened, or maybe the one before that, where we actually lost, I think, some stewardship stats. I think we had some event that happened. I don't recall what it was right this second, but we had an event that happened that made us lose one of our positive traits. And when that happened, it, I believe, lowered our domain ability from 7 to 5. So that really puts us in a real pickle, because before, when I was looking at this situation, I was thinking, well, I could just give one thing away and it'll be fixed. Well, no, now I got to give 3 away. So this is actually kind of a problem, to be honest. So what's going to end up happening by the time everything's said and done here, when I get done fixing all this, is we're going to be down to 5 domains and be making less money than when we started in the first place on Venice. So in retrospect, it probably would have been better if we didn't even mess with Venice at all. But hey, we had some fun stomping some huts and stuff. So so there's a couple ways to fix this situation, okay? And I do have this pause because this is going to take a minute or two for me to sort this out. And we got some dangerous factions that are brewing that we're going to have to be aware of. But some of that will... Gimmer guy. Some of that is partially because of the domain issue, because we have to get below. People get pissed off when you have more areas than you're supposed to have, and so everybody's pissed off at me right now about that. So there's a couple ways you can handle this, and thanks for all the suggestions and ideas. And I think the one way to handle this that I can see, okay, Venezia is the county capital. Barony. Okay, what we need to do is we need to revoke barony of Palestrina, I think, here. And if we do that, the end result, when I do all this stuff here, and we'll see if I kind of know what I'm doing from experiencing this a little bit before, is I need to go revoke the barony on Palestrina. I'll take a bit of a hit, rep hit and whatnot. That'll turn that into the capital, and then I will be able to hold on to that, and then I'll have to give away, I think, like the city of Venezia eventually to somebody else, but then I'll still be able to hold the county and have the capital, I think is how it'll work out. I know that all probably doesn't make any freaking sense whatsoever, but hopefully it will here in a second, because I've kind of messed with this once before. Okay, this barony right here, I need to revoke this barony, and I'm going to lose 25 prestige. This dude is going to full on hate me, and all my other vassals I'm going to take another 20 hit on, but in the long run I think I'll be able to sort it out easier. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay to that. Okay, we'll stop that, then we're going to let it run for just a couple of days here. Okay, I'm going to pause it again. Okay, now what I need to do is I am going to invite a noble to court. Now, I'll try to explain this best I can without sounding like a complete idiot, because I'm probably not going to explain some of this properly. Okay, and I think before this is all done, because I have to get rid of 3 counties, I'm still going to end up giving 1 county to my son, to Justin, the heir. And I know that's kind of a bad idea, because then he moves out, and I'm not able to do his education, I think, anymore and whatnot. But I think in this situation, I may take that chance. I may try to go ahead and pick his wife right before I do that, though. So that'll probably be the last thing. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up giving him the county of Venice, is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to give this county here, which Prizren is the capital of Rashka. I'm going to give that to this vassal this noble I'm bringing to court. And then the next lowest one is Tergovsk here, which is I think over here somewhere. Tergovsk's right there. I'm going to give that one probably to another noble. I'll probably invite 2 nobles to court. And I'm going to give those both to 2 nobles, and then I'm going to give the county of Venice to my heir. Just hope that he turns out okay. He's got a couple okay things so far, I think. But that'll be the last thing we do. We'll sort that last. So let's go ahead and invite a noble to court. We got to remember his name. It's Jite J. Okay, so we'll go ahead and invite him to court. Then we're going to let this run for a second, because we need the guy to come up and acknowledge that we revoked the barony. And we got to hope and get all this done before any revolts or nonsense happen with some of those factions. Okay, he humbly accepts my decision to revoke the barony, though it grieves him deeply. Okay, so now that we got that, okay, see, now Palestrina is the county capital. So now what we have to do is we have to give that city away, which is this one right here, city of Venezia or whatever. Because see, all these are the same, are the right. These are all fine, okay. And we fixed this one, Palestrina, which is the county capital, so that's fine. So what we need to do now is this one is the city is the wrong type. We can't have a city, which sucks because that's a lot of tax right there. But we're going to give that one, the city, away actually, because see, that moved us one up higher. So we're going to give the city away, actually, to that vassal that we just brought in. And the reason you do that with the vassals is because when you bring this guy to court, they're going to be pretty. They're going to be one of your. Here, I'll just show you. Let me find him. Where's he at? Here he is, right here. J. Okay. These guys here, they're going to be pretty loyal to you. You can see his opinion's already at 43, so he's pretty loyal to you already. Now, the thing that sucks here is he has the ambitious trait, which... I'd rather he didn't have the ambitious trait, to be honest. And it tells you right there, it says their drive to reach the top means they tend to make poor vassals. So, let's... Is there everybody else in our court? Who's the highest in our court that doesn't hold anything? Okay, this guy... Okay, this guy really likes me. He's paranoid, deceitful, but he's content. Okay, so that sounds like a good idea to me. He really likes me, and I kind of like him, so let's go with this guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to give him... And we'll go ahead and see, you see these are all counties right here, so hold on just a second on that. Sorry about that. My daughter was chasing the royal cat through the castle. So I had to pause for 1 second there. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the city. You notice one of these things doesn't belong here. We have all these counties. When we get rid of this city right here, this should get rid of our wrong holding type. So we're going to give this to this guy. Right? Okay, and you can see that went away. Okay, and then we're down to 8 again now. So now we still have 3 things we have to give away, which I think are going to be the 3 things that I discussed a second ago. So, alright, so we have that guy. Now, the interesting thing is, if you look here, if we click on Venice again now, you can see is that we're actually getting, we'll let it go for a couple days, but you can see we're actually getting some good tax income out of that. And if you look here, you can see Palestrina here, 7.9, so I don't know why we're getting the 12 exactly. Palestrina is 7.9, Lido 4, and then Torsla 2.25. So I guess the Lido falls underneath that. So, okay. So yeah, that's some of the CK2 math. Also, to point out one thing here too is it seems like every time I play this game, they have a patch that adds something else. They made these, like, instead of putting all the buttons down here, they made it where you have like a little hotkey thing where you can put the ones you use the most down here, which, as you guys know, I usually stay on the independent realms view the most because, you know, it easily defines boundaries. But, you know, every once in a while you want to check out the duchies or, you know, the de jure kingdoms or something like that, religious stuff, you know, just to make sure nobody's a different religion, which right now we're good on that. Revolt risk, we're pretty good on that right this second, although actually I would think it would be redder than that. But I guess not. Okay. Okay, so we fixed the one problem. So now we have to fix the other problem, is we have to get rid of some of these other counties. Now I'm going to save the one for my heir for last. And let's take a look at him again real quick. He has temperate. Okay. Well, we're going to hope that something else pops up here while we're taking care of these other ones real quick. Let's invite... Well, let's just look, actually. Let's look at our court again. Okay. Okay, queen. Okay, no, that ain't gonna work. No. Okay, that's the guy we already... Oh, that's the guy we decided not to use, right? Dalmatia, Duke's already, no. Who's this guy? Roth. He's a duelist. Okay. Let's bring another one in and see if we can get lucky and get another good one. Oh, and they added a factions button up here so you can just go look at it, which I guess is useful. Let's invite another noble to court. It's only going to cost us 10. Czeslaw. Alright, let's let it run for a day. Pause. Okay, let's go look at Czeslaw real quick. Thought usually I'd always put him at the bottom, I thought. Czeslaw, here he is right here. Okay, content. He's content but deceitful. And he's diligent and he's a fortune builder. Excellent. Looks like he likes his chicken too. So let's go ahead and we're going to give him... Yeah. We're going to give him... what do we say? Roshka. Roshka we can get rid of because it's their lowest income county. Okay, so that takes care of one more. And then we're going to give... Now let's take a look at our vassals real quick. Okay, the Gimmer, Veglia, Thames. Okay, we'll be able to fix some of this stuff. I mean, I don't want to give any of these guys any land, but we're going to give it money and titles out that we have. This one we have to fix, because this is some major income right there that we're missing out on. Well, these down here, too. We got to fix all this crap. Some of it will hopefully fix once we give the rest of these areas away. So, again, the next one we need to give away is Trgovsk. And... Yeah. We don't have any others in our court that kind of like us that are not are not a direct family. That Boris guy, I don't know about him. He looks kind of shady with that cloak. I'm not sure I'm really liking the evil eye he's giving me. Bojan? Who's this guy? Slothful and shy, but he's honest and brave. You can be slothful and shy, but honest and brave. That's an incredible combination. And I kind of like him, he kind of likes me. So, he doesn't already hold anything, I don't believe, right? No. So, let's give him Trgovsk. Okay, that takes care of that. Okay, court chaplain, we need to appoint. Yep, that guy looks good for now, because I don't feel like messing with it. Let's let this run just for a second. Okay, I watched my son Justin. Okay, this is our heir, so this is something we need to sort out. Greedy, no, that's not going to be good. He played with another child yesterday. He noticed that he didn't want to share his toys. Yeah. Okay, so he's getting greedy. I can either encourage it, I can give a 40% chance of that he loses it. I mean, you get a 10% national tax modifier on that, but diplomacy goes down, which is not something we want. Here we get a 50% chance he gets charitable, which would be nice. 40% greedy, 10% no effect, so 50-50 good or... Let's go with that. I mean, if he gets the greedy, oh well, but if he gets charitable, awesome. So we'll go with that. He gained charitable, awesome. Okay, so we were able to get one more good trade in there on him before he moves away. So that's good. He has charitable, which increases diplomacy. And yeah, so he's off to a good start. So that's good. Let's let it run just a little bit longer here. Okay, we need to dump this now. We're pushing the limit. So let's go ahead and this will also help. Again, and I know some people probably will disagree with me doing this because he's 8. I'm going to lose him. I may, I could possibly get a couple more choices to get him a couple good traits. But at the same time, me giving him Venice, number one, gives him a good start on getting some money potentially, but it also helps increase his legitimacy a bit towards the throne. I mean, right now he's winning, but I mean, I think this will increase it even more that he's holding land and things like that. I mean, yeah, it'd probably be better if he was holding an actual, you know, probably it might have been better in the long run to have get him Rashka. But at the same time, when he becomes king, I want him to have Venice because it's going to be a bigger money earner over the long term, I think. So, I mean, yeah, you can see it's a pretty good money maker, I think. So, right, so we're going to go ahead and give this to him. Like I said, I know some of you will disagree, but I think in the long run, he's off to a good start on his trades, and I think in the long run it will work out. So we're going to give him County of Venezia. Okay. Our court chaplain didn't like that, I guess, or something. Or maybe I had him in that position, I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, so now we're back down under the limit now. Let's let it run for a few days. Okay, dangerous factions. Independence. Yeah. Okay, the Gimmer guy is giving us some issues. Can we... Okay, 38 is a bargain to do that. And then can I give him a... Master of the Hunt? That doesn't get him all the way there, but it's close. Okay, and then let's let it run to the end of January. And then we'll pause it. Okay, Russia guy already making changes over there, tax changes. Alright, let's go to the vassals again now. And let's see how bad we are. Okay, let's start at the bottom. Okay, the Gimmer guy is who we were just working on. We can't really do much more to him. Let's look at some of the worst ones. Veglia guy. This Nitria, I always seem to get issues with him. So I kind of want to hit that off first. Okay, so we got him. Yeah, I know I'm dumping a bunch of money right now, but I'm trying to avoid... I can see a war coming, especially from these independence guys. Duke of Hungary. He only has 418 men. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Okay, let's hit a few more. Well, that's an awesome one. That's a boggin, I must say. I'm not gonna get this guy. I mean, there's just 20 for 45. Actually, I guess I could almost get him. We'll do that. And then, is there any others for some money? We need this one right here. We got to get this guy. Okay, that was a big chunk of money though. What other ones do we have for big money? 8.2. We got to get Dimitar Mayor. Yeah, we got to get this guy. No, we'll give him a title. The horses one. That's easier. Who else? This one here. 42, 47. There we go. Okay, that's enough. We just spent like a crap ton of money. Alright, so, and I know a lot of you may disagree with my way of kingship ruling, but obviously I'm hitting something right. Okay, how many kids are we gonna have? Okay, she's upset because she wants to get married. Gasper Mayer, the Chancellor of Croatia. Yeah, sure. Let's make the Chancellor happy, I guess. Um, okay. So, we'll let this run a little bit here. Let's take a look at... Okay, so we're still doing good on all this. Well, that just bounced, but again, I think that'll sort itself out once he gets a little older. I think some of the faction activity should have been placated to a certain degree, so we should be okay on most of that. Yeah, whatever. Freaking, I got factions just coming out of the woodwork. It's ridiculous. Okay, pause, because we have a guardian thing. This is Prince Ulfhedgen. Now, Prince Ulfhedgen, he's our backup plan in case something happens to Justin. So, we want to educate Ulfhedgen ourselves. So, because if you recall right, the Gabriel or whatever is the imbecile. He's not going to be king. Justin is. But, again, Ulfhedgen is the backup plan. So, we will educate him. Okay, so, I mean, I think we're going to go ahead and break it off right there, because this feels like it's been a long episode. But anyway, we did resolve our domain demence issues. It really sucked that we had that one trait that we lost. I would have much rather held on to 7, and then I could have held on to both probably Venice and Tergosk and just gave Rashka away. And that would have been, you know, that would have been how I would have preferred everything to go down. But we have him holding it right now, so his traits are still good. He hasn't picked up a bad one or anything yet. So we will just go ahead and go along with that plan for right now. And feel free. I mean, I'm interested in hearing any of your opinions on how I handled that situation there. I'm sure some of you would have seen a different way. You'd have probably rather it done. The key was I want Venice to fall back under my control at some point. And yeah, maybe it's not under my control with this particular king, with King Dimitaro, but when I become King Justin, I will have it again. And the only other issue is I probably need to arrange a betrothal for him. And I'll leave that. You guys give me some suggestions on the betrothal, who I should sort him out with. Which I think I can still do that, can't I? I may not be able to. Maybe I had to have done it before I gave him the land, which... Yeah, okay, I see. No. Well, okay, there. I can do it this way. So, like, for instance, if I wanted to... Okay, I see. No, I would have to marry then within, which is, you know, not exactly what I had in mind. Right. Right, so he's going to pick his own, which is dangerous. Yeah, I probably should have lined that up beforehand. That was a mistake, I acknowledge that. But hey, we'll roll with the punches and see what kind of interesting thing it brings. I mean, if he doesn't find somebody prior to taking over, then I'll get to sort it. But if we don't like who it is once we get king, if whoever his queen is somebody who's just strategically not very good, we can always plot and get rid of her, or whatever the case may be. So that's always something you can. That's one thing about Crusader Kings. You can always fix and, you know, manipulate things here and there if you need to. But anyway, yeah, feel free to give any opinions on how I handled the domain revoke issues there. I mean, I think right now we're in pretty good shape overall. I mean, yeah, we have vassals in the red, but actually we don't have any of them that are crazy high. I don't know why she's 20 for 45. That's a bargain. But like this guy, we can't do anything more with him. Yeah, we can't do anything more. Is there any more of these that are big money? This one here. But I don't think we can do anything else to... Oh, yeah, we can. 61 for 40. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so then it's mostly smaller amounts of money that are left, but that was a pretty big one. So, okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and leave it there, and again, I will catch you guys very soon in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Grab another mug. See you later.